Hi, and welcome back to another week of our family meals. Now, I haven't been filming our meals because I've just kind of been slacking on it, but now we're getting back into it. So it is Monday, and my husband barbecued chicken over the weekend, so we just ate that. So for tonight, we are having doesn't really have a name for it, it's just sausage and veggies. So let's get to it. I have 4 potatoes already peeled and diced on my baking sheet. And I have this smoked turkey sausage that I'm just going to chop up. I have 3 zucchinis cut up. Okay, so in here we have olive oil, we have basil, oregano, thyme, garlic salt, not garlic salt, garlic powder, and onion powder. So I'll leave the measurements for that all down in the recipe. We're just going to drizzle it all over the sausage and vegetables. Okay, so you can get a spatula out and stir it up, but we're just going to use our hands. It just makes it easier. Okay, and you just want to spread it out on your pan as best you can. Make sure you try to get all your sausage and veggies coated with the spices and olive oil. My oven is preheated to 400. This is going to go in the oven for 15 minutes, and then you are going to stir it and put it in for about another 10 to 20 minutes. And now my hands are all dirty and I can't open the oven. Owen! Come here, please. It is Tuesday night, and for dinner tonight, we're just having a super simple dinner, nothing fancy. I have this pork tenderloin that I'm going to bake up. It's already marinated. So it says that you're just going to bake it in a 350-degree oven for 30 to 35 minutes. So we're just going to put it in the oven. Here is our dinner. Here is the pork all cooked up with just some simple mashed potatoes and steamed green beans. It is Wednesday, and for dinner tonight we are having potato soup. So I have, I don't know, 2.5 to 3 pounds of potatoes already peeled and diced, and I put them in my crock pot. Right, I'm going to add in a tablespoon of parsley, half a teaspoon of oregano, going to add in a teaspoon of garlic powder. Now the recipe calls for 4 to 5 cups of chicken broth, so I'm going to use a 32-ounce box. Okay, so we're going to cook this on high for about 5 hours. Okay, our potatoes have cooked for 5 hours. So in my measuring cup, I have a cup of milk and 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. Going to mix that up in our potatoes. The recipe calls for evaporative milk, but I am just using what I have. So the recipe calls for putting half of your potato mixture in a blender and blending it up, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to use a potato masher. I like my potato soup more on the creamy side and not the chunky, so I mash them up pretty well. I have 4 ounces of cream cheese that I cut up and I put it in the microwave about 20 seconds just to soften it up a little bit to help it melt in the crock pot. Going to give it a stir. Okay, we're going to let this cook for another 30 minutes on high so that it will thicken up and the cream cheese will melt. Okay, our potato soup is done cooking. I'm just going to add in a cup of cheddar cheese.
Yeah, as good as it can be.
Okay, and we're just going to let that melt, and then our soup is done. So here is our potato soup with a little bit of bacon crumbles on the top. And then we have side salads with sourdough to go with it. And we are trying these fresh gourmet ciabatta croutons, butter and sea salt. And you got big ol' hunkin' croutons.
Smart.
Oh. Anyway, that is our dinner for tonight. It is Thursday night, and for dinner tonight we are having taco salads. I have a pound of turkey meat browning in my pan. I'm just going to add in some garlic. We like garlic, so I usually add a little bit more. Just gonna brown my meat up. So I got about a cup of a quarter cup of taco seasoning that I'm going to put in my pan. I'm going to add in 3/4 to a cup of water, depending on how much juice you want it to make. Well, turkey meat doesn't have that much grease in it, but I went ahead and drained what it had. Just going to add my meat back to the spices and water. Okay, we're going to bring it to a simmer. Okay, I'm going to add in a can of corn. Okay, I'm going to add in a can of black beans that I rinsed and drained. That I drained and rinsed. Okay, I'm going to stir it all together, and then I'm going to let it simmer for about 5 minutes. Taco salads and tacos are one of my family's favorite dinners, so we do eat them quite often. And there are our taco salads.